Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my channel, Madam Mima Azlina. Welcome to Mima Azlina's channel, where journey begins. Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back to our lesson. So for today, we are going to look at English Year 6. Okay, so we are still at Unit 1, reading A Window to the World. So today is the continuation from the previous lesson. Okay, so this is our topic. Okay, so hopefully by now you are more interested in reading. Okay, so here are some of the things that I would like to share with you before we start with our lesson. So the table of content. So number one is our classroom rules. So again and again, I will remind you to take notes, okay, study at your own pace. When you are ready, study, and then share this video around so that others can also learn from it. Okay, so number 2 is our objective of our lesson, and then number 3 is the content of the lesson. Alright, so here are the rules for this online lesson. Okay, just simply take notes of whatever you think is important in the lesson. Stay focused, and then don't forget to share around this video with your friends, okay, with other teachers, so that they can also use this video to help their students. Okay, so here are the objective of our lesson. So basically in this lesson, you are going to listen to a story that I will read it out to you. And at the end of the lesson, we are learning to answer simple comprehension questions, okay, based on the text that I'm going to read later. And then number 2, you are going to be able to write the answers in the Google form that I will include in the description later. Alright, so here are our 2 objectives. So number 1, you are able to answer simple comprehension questions, and then number 2, you are going to be able to write your answers in the Google form. Alright, so now you are going to listen to a story that I will like to read aloud. You can turn your textbook to page 5. Okay, so the text is there. Okay, so I'm going to read the text and you are going to listen to it, and then later we are going to try and answer some simple comprehension questions. Okay.
Pak Johan owned an organic vegetable farm. He was able to grow good organic greens because of his scarecrow. Pak Johan built the scarecrow himself and made it as scary as possible. He gave it enormous straw's arm that stretched out about 2 meters and big long legs. The scariest thing about the scarecrow was its head was made of a huge earthen pot. The scarecrow's face was so scary and ugly that even he was scared to look at it. It was very effective, scaring away every bird that tried to eat his vegetables. The neighboring farm owners, Man and Nan, were jealous of Pak Johan's success. One night, they stole his scarecrow and locked it in their house. The next day, Pak Johan realized his scarecrow was missing and his greens were eaten up. He was devastated. That night, the brothers had trouble sleeping. They could not get the image of the scarecrow's horrible face out of their minds. Man took out the scarecrow, smashed its head with a hoe, and buried it in their lawn. At midnight, they heard scratching and clawing sounds at their door. Suddenly, the door burst open and a long straw arm snaked in. The men were frozen in fear. They looked in horror as the headless scarecrow's body rose up. It caught Lan's neck. Lan shouted for help, but Man had already made his way onto the moonlight road. Man kept running. He glanced back over his shoulder and saw the Scarecrow chasing after him. It was getting closer and closer to him. He noticed that the Scarecrow had a new head and it looked like...
Okay, so how do you find the story? I hope it's interesting. Okay, so the story is about a farmer named Pak Johan. He owned an organic farm. So to help him take care of the farm, he built a scarecrow. So do you know what is a scarecrow? So dalam buku teks pun ada gambar scarecrow. So I think some of you might have seen a scarecrow before, especially those staying in villages. Okay, you can see scarecrows on paddy field, farms and so on. Okay, so why did Pak Johan build a scarecrow? Kenapa dia buat scarecrow tu? Orang-orang tu tak apa. Okay. So to take care of his farm. So also in the story you were introduced to two other characters which is Man and Lan. Okay, they are Pak Johan's neighbor who's a bit jealous of Pak Johan's achievement. Bila orang dah berjaya, adalah yang cemburu kan. So cerita dia macam tu. So apa yang berlaku? They stole his scarecrow, okay, and lock it inside their house. Ambil scarecrow tu dan simpan dalam rumah mereka. But what happened is they couldn't sleep at night. Susah nak tidur sebab because of the image of the scarecrow scares them, menakutkan mereka. So mereka tak boleh tidur. Okay. And then at the end of the story, it was hanged like that. Dia macam tak habis cerita dia. Because you are going to tell me what happens next. Alright. So now, here are some of the things that you need to pay attention when you are going to answer comprehension questions. Okay, so basically comprehension questions is to check your understanding about the story. Okay, so kita bukan baca sahaja lah, kita baca untuk kefahaman kita. So we have questions, okay, where you are going to find the answers in the text. Okay, so how are we going to do this is basically first one, you are going to identify some of the difficult words that you can find in the text. Okay, so some of the words are quite difficult. Maybe it's your first time seeing those words. Okay, so we are going to find the meaning of the words, right? Number two, understand the storyline. So tadi teacher dah baca and then teacher dah ceritakan sedikit secara ringkas dalam bahasa Melayu supaya kamu boleh faham cerita tu tentang apa. So try to understand the storyline. And then next, read and understand the questions. In our previous lesson, I have introduced to you what are the 5W and 1H. Okay, so hopefully you can still remember what are those words. Okay, so if you know each questions requires what kind of answers, perlukan jawapan yang macam mana, so kamu boleh jawab soalan. Okay, next one, find answers in the text. Okay, so normally kebiasaannya in each questions there will be keywords to the answers. Mesti ada jawapan, setiap soalan mesti ada jawapan. Okay, so try to find the answers in your text. Okay, so here are some of the difficult words, okay, that you are going to find the meaning in your textbook. Okay, in your textbook page 5, okay, behind the text you will see phrases, okay, or meaning of words, okay, and then I would like you to try and match these 8 words to the meanings. Okay, so for example, okay, organic. So what is organic? Okay, organic are something produced without using artificial chemicals. So organic ni benda yang natural, benda yang tak ada guna apa-apa bahan tambahan. Macam tu. So, try to find your answers and then write it in the Google form later. Okay? Alright, so let us look at the first question. Okay, so the first question based on the text is, who is Pak Johan? Who is Pak Johan? So as I mentioned in my previous lesson, who is the question that we use to ask about the person or and the one that we are going to describe later, okay? Tentang orang, okay? So, who is Pak Johan? So, based on the text given, so this is how we are going to look for answers in your text. So, soalan dia bertanya siapa tu Pak Johan, okay? Memang tak ada jawapan Pak Johan is what, okay? But, we are going to look for clues in the text, okay? So, in the text, okay, the first sentence says that Pak Johan owned an organic farm. Okay, Pak Johan owned an organic farm. So the clue is farm. So if he owned an organic farm, so basically he is a farmer. So how do you write your answers? Pak Johan is a farmer. Alright? So let us try the second one. The second question is, what was the scarecrow's head made of? Okay, what was the scarecrow's head made of? Okay, so what is apa? Okay, we are going to find answers about things. Okay, so based on the text, okay, so we are talking about scarecrow's head. So look for that clue in the text. Okay, so in the text, we have this sentence, the scariest thing about the scarecrow was its head, which was made of a huge earthen pot. Okay, so the question, bahan apa yang kita gunakan untuk membuat kepala scarecrow tu? Okay, so dalam jawapan ni, it mentions about the scarecrow and its head. Okay, so it was made, okay. So the answer is, the scarecrow's head was made of a huge earthen pot. Okay, so kita ambil balik jawapan yang ada dalam teks. Okay, so next one. Question number 3. Where did Man lock the scarecrow? Where did Man lock the scarecrow? So basically this is a very direct question. Okay, semua jawapan ada dalam teks. Okay, so in our passage, okay, we have the answers. Okay, one night they stole his scarecrow and locked it in their house. Okay, dah diberitahu kat situ pada suatu malam. Okay, they tu siapa? Man dengan Lan. Okay, then his neighbor, okay, they stole his scarecrow and locked it in their house. Okay, so soalan dia tanya, where did Man lock the scarecrow? So the answers is, Man locked the scarecrow in his house. Okay, Man locked the scarecrow in his house. So kita tak ambil lah dia sebab dia ni refers to Man dengan Lan. But the question mention Man. So seorang. So his house. Alright. So the next question is, why are they having trouble sleeping? Why are they having trouble sleeping? So in the passage, okay, we have the word trouble sleeping. Okay, that night the brothers had trouble sleeping. Okay, dia ada masalah tidur malam tu. Kenapa dia ada masalah tidur? They could not get the image of the scarecrow's horrible face out of their mind. So this is the reason why they are having trouble sleeping. Sebab benda ni mereka tak boleh tidur. So how are you going to write your answer? Okay, they could not sleep because they could not get the image of the scarecrow's horrible face out of their mind. Okay, so kita ambil sikit dekat soalan ni. Okay, ataupun kita ambil saja jawapan dia, kenapa mereka tak boleh tidur, they could not sleep. Okay, because. Kena ada because lah sebab dia tanya why. So why kita guna untuk reason, kita nak tahu sebab. Okay, so they could not sleep because. Sebab They could not get the image of the Scarecrow's horrible face out of their mind. So that is the reason why they are having trouble sleeping. Alright. So the next question is, when did they heard the scratching and clawing sound? Okay. When did they heard the scratching and clawing sound? So when we are talking about time. Okay, masa. So in the passage, okay, ada juga perkataan scratching and clawing sound. Okay, ada. So, cari perkataan tu dalam teks. Okay, and remember, we are talking about time. So, at midnight, they heard scratching and clawing sound at their door. So, kat mana time kat sini? Time, masa. Masa kat mana? At midnight. So, the answer is, they heard the sound at midnight. Okay, boleh juga tulis they heard the scratching and clawing sound at midnight, ataupun nak pendek je, they heard the sound at midnight. Okay, so that is the time. Alright, let's go to the next question. I think this is the last one. How do you think the story ended? How do you think the story ended? Okay, pada pendapat kamu macam mana cerita tu berakhir? Berakhir macam mana? Sebab cerita tadi tak habis kan? Dia sekerat jalan je. Dia tak habis. Okay, so if you have these questions, how do you think the story ended? Because it wanted your opinion. Dia nak kamu yang bagi jawapan kamu. So you start your answer. Okay, answers are based on your imagination lah, sebab dia tanya how do you think? Okay, pada pendapat kamu. Okay, so your answers start with I think. Okay, I think, okay, how the story ended. Macam mana? Ikut kamu lah. Macam mana kamu nak story to end? I think, for me, maybe jawapan teacher, I think it was only a dream. Okay, saya rasa itu hanyalah mimpi sahaja. Sebenarnya tak jadi pun. Okay, apa yang Man dengan Lan fikirkan. Okay, so this is how you write your answer. Alright, so I think that's all for today. I hope you have learned how to answer simple comprehension question based on the 5W and 1H I taught you in the previous lesson. Okay, so not today we have the text, so we try and answer some comprehension question based on the text. Okay, so I also included in the lesson how you are going to write your answers. So jawapan teacher dah bagi kat situ. Okay, lepas ni tolong jawab menggunakan contoh ayat yang diberi. Okay, so I'm going to put the link of the Google form in the description below. Okay, so try and answer to that question. Cuba jawab, okay, in full sentences dalam ayat yang penuh. Okay, so there is one, and then the second one, I want you to match. Okay, so the meaning of words. Okay, yang kita tengok tadi ada 8 perkataan yang susah tadi tu. Okay, find the meaning of words and then write it in the Google form. Alright, so if you have any question, you can simply write your question in the chat section below, or you can email me at mimaazlina@eddate.edu.my. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking the red subscribe button. Okay, if you have, thank you. And also don't forget to click the notification bell button for more updates from my channel. Okay, like my video to show your support. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Thank you. See you all later. Bye.